to my channel, and today we'll be doing, for this vlog, it's a vlog today, but after this vlog I do have a art session I need to record. So in preparation for that art session, first I need to prep the palette, and then the illustration has already been pre-drawn up and pre-lined up. I have it in here. Remember when I was doing my sketchbook that I'm showcasing, the sketchbook that I made, and I showed you guys this crudely made one? To be honest, I really didn't like the sketchbook here. I loved how I sewed it together. I loved how I bind it. What I didn't appreciate was the fact that how the taping came out. It just made it look all wrinkly and just crazy, and I didn't appreciate it. And I was trying to just use it out so I just get rid of it and get done with it. But one of the things I found that I can do with this sketchbook, because it is made from the Canson XL mixed media paper, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, it is made from Canson XL mixed media paper, is that I could use it for swatches and color mixing, and that's what I've been doing with the sketchbook. So like for testing out mediums and stuff. Some of these pictures I'm putting up on my Patreon. Here I was doing some blending pencils techniques and doing an illustration to see how well I could have done it in an illustration. I did it with a different color set here with different pencils as well, and I'm so proud of this little guy. I did it here as well, and again I did it with an illustration to see how I could do it and for the illustration. And this is some I have to edit that out. This is some alcohol inks, handmade alcohol inks that my friend made for me. Her name is Angie. Thank you, Angie. This is her inks. We did a Christmas exchange, so I gave her some of my stuff and she gave me some handmade alcohol inks, which was pretty cool. And I also have that also planned for a session with you. And when I did this, doing this in the sketchbook actually inspired me to do something else, which was actually start doing swatches in the sketchbook. So here I have some paint swatches out and just started to use the sketchbook for swatches. And see, just basically using the sketchbook for swatches. And that's where I landed, where I decided to do some swatches with some of these paints that are in this box. And so let me take a break and then we'll talk about this box and this piece. Okay, so for this says limited colors, and it's actually using my handmade watercolor paints. Now I would have previously showed you my handmade watercolor paints, and no, these are not the ones that I made with the pigment set. These are the ones I actually made myself, and I think I showed you that in a previous video where I illustrated colors. And I always wanted to put my handmade watercolor paints in a wooden box. For me, it just makes it looks more authentically handmade. So I found this wooden box, and I asked, well, I was going to paint it, but then my husband offered to paint it for me. And then it became a battle because my husband is such a perfectionist. And I wanted the painting to look crude and just rustic and basically being done by an amateur. And he's like, no, we can't let it look like that. It has to look really finished. I'm like, no, it was literally a battle, literally to try to say, no, I really do want it to look, you know, very amateur-y. And so after, you know, like literally, I basically kidnapped the box away from him before he could have finished it. I put my handmade watercolor paints in this box. So my handmade watercolor paints are now in this box. And so I could repurpose the metal tin that I previously had it in for something else. And now that brings us for today's vlog. And yeah, that was just a long explanation to basically say that I'm going to be re-swatching out my handmade watercolor paints. I know I just recently did it like a month ago in that metal tin where I reorganized it. But now that we have it in its home that I really wanted to put it in, I need to re-swatch it because it's no longer in this order. It's in a separate order, so let me flip it open and show you the order I have it in. Here we go. Yeah. So this is how it's kept, and I really appreciate it. I know all the colors that are here. Obviously, I made most of them. The 3 colors are still here that I purchased, which is this color, and this color. And I have it inset in rose, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I appreciate it. It's actually being held in place by I don't know if it's kind of like a very hard foamy kind of thing I got. It's a packaging that I got. It looks kind of bubbly, but it's very, very stiff. It's very, very plasticky. So I just basically cut the shapes out in this plastic, and I just put the half pans in there, and it just seems to hold it pretty well. So yeah, I do repurpose my packaging when I get them, and I really appreciate it. So it's really cool. So now that I've shown you my handmade watercolor paints, let me now do, and I've showed you, this is actually for video 2 of today. Now let me go through this and just time lapse doing this, because I first have to make the grid for the swatches, and then I have to swatch them out, and then I'll probably just set it in here or probably tape it in here so that it doesn't affects the paint on the other side. So now let's get to that, okay?
Why am I looking at you? You're a picture in a frame. I make believe you're next to me, but I know it's not the same. Why am I looking at you? You're a pixel on a screen. Your animating principle is nowhere to be seen. Why am I lost in a loveless fantasy when somebody real is waiting out there for me? Why am I looking at you? I've enjoyed the years I've wasted, but the time has come to face the fact that none of what I see is true. So I'm gonna stop looking at you. Oh, I'm gonna stop looking at you. Oh.
Okay, I am finished. Some things that I love about this. I love the fact that all these paints have excellent light fastness. So I don't label the light fast abilities because it just, on the pigment bottle, it just says excellent light fastness. The only other thing I would say is that it kind of challenges my concept of watercolor, because I'm so used to watercolor being transparent, but I know that handmade watercolors tend to be very opaque. So the opacity of some of them kind of challenge me to that regard, especially when it comes to the cadmiums and the ochres and the natural pigments like the natural rose, the Indian red, which is a natural oxide, burnt sienna. And these oxide colors really challenge me because I'm not used to them being so opaque. But then again, when you think about the natural order of the pigments themselves, those pigments themselves are very, very opaque. And that's about it. I've swatched this out, so the next step is to put this in here so that I stick it on the top of the inner part of the palette, and just to have those. Video 2 of this vlog is going to be I'm going to be doing an artwork with 3 colors out of this selection of paints here, and it's going to be a limited color series, and we're just going to go into that. So I'll be doing video 2 next. And so far I really do enjoy paint making. As you can see, I did leave space that in case in the future if I want to make some more paints, I'm trying to build up a nice little collection of colors. And for right now, I actually do enjoy these colors. I actually do love them. I mean, after all, I bought them. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. Tell me what you think in the comments below of my palette. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.